with the character who utters them.
Mm-hmm.
For those not from Kentucky, it's spelled Louisville. Those of us born and raised there, it's Louisville. Growing up in Louisville, I spent a lot of time talking to God, not because I was so holy, but because I was so lonely and lost, desperately trying to figure it all out. Exposed to a great deal of cruelty, mental, emotional, physical, both personally in the world around me, I tried to make sense of it by going to the only one I thought might give me answers. Why did mankind treat others so inhumanely? Kentucky was a border state in the Civil War South, and rabidly Jim Crow, a concept directly opposed to loving others and unknown to today's Americans. But racism was the air I breathed. Jim Crow, a black man in an 1820 song, became a series of laws demanding absolute separation of the white and black races. It was unlawful, unthinkable even, for a Negro and white to accompany one another or walk on the same walk, shop in the same stores, worship in the same churches. In Mississippi, talking social equality meant prison if you hadn't been flogged to death or hung. When the men around me laughed that they'd made old Darky swim last night, I knew they'd drowned another black man in the nearby Ohio River. In 1950, when I was 14, I lived in the West End, squeezed between large, beautiful homes by the Ohio River, and according to constant rumor, the encroachment by those in Darkytown. I lived where white trash lived. I won a scholarship to a Catholic Girls Academy in the opposite end of Louisville, which required a 2.5-hour trip and 3 buses each way to reach school and back home again. Jim Crow law required blacks to stand in the back third of the bus, even if all seats were taken there, even if all seats were open in the white section, the front 2/3 of the bus. Blacks had to enter by the front door, but could leave only by the back door. The driver of the last and longest section of my daily trip was a rabid and vociferous racist, a top officer in the Klan, who demonstrated his cruelty as much as possible each trip. One day, a year before Rosa Parks took a front seat and started the Montgomery bus boycott that launched the civil rights movement, an elderly black laundress struggled to board the bus with her huge load, trembling and weeping as the driver cursed her. I rose, dropped in a token for her, dragged her load to my front seat, saying, "Please, ma'am, take my seat. There are none left in the back." "You stupid, stupid child," she said to me. Tears rolling down her face, she dragged her laundry to the back. I was then knocked down, pushed, kicked, spit on, and more by the driver and his Klan cronies until finally I knelt in the back of the bus, which is where I was forced to ride for the next 18 months of school. This experience marked me deeply, and I made an inner vow that whenever I encountered injustice or someone was being hurt, I would do whatever I could to rescue. The story of the 18 months in the back of the bus is in the book. So does that make it an autobiography? No. Not Without Spirit is not my story, but one young woman's. It's historical fiction, not a history book, but actual events in 10 years of American history, 1946 to 56. And they serve as a panorama, a backdrop, if you will, against which plays out the story and tries to answer the questions: why is man so inhumane to man? How can I let people know that they are of value? Not Without Spirit is my attempt to do just that.